It's great to have you all here. And so a lot of you have asked questions. We've been compiling the questions, and today we're going to answer some of the questions for you.
Question number 1.
So, do you have a stove and a fridge there? What types of food do you eat?
Yes, we have a stove and a fridge. Our stove operates off of a propane, right? Propane tank.
Propane tank. Just like the one you hook to your barbecue grill.
Yeah.
It's under our sink.
That's the ones we've been able to find here, but it works very well. We use that for our oven and our stove. Yes, we have a fridge. They don't come as wide as the ones you see in the United States usually.
It's not like the one in your college dorm room, like the little mini fridges, but it's not like a full size fridge either. I'll show you.
Yeah, we will. We'll show you.
So this is our fridge right here. As you can see, it's I don't know if I'm getting the angle right. Like I said, standing. If you know how tall I am, it's just a little bit shorter than I am, and I'm bumping buttons. These. That's it. Just fridge, but smaller. And then is our stove. It's just a regular gas stove minus that little part right there. That is the gas tank for the stove. And if you're wondering, it lasts for about a month. I think it was a month and a half, a little over a month was what the first bottle lasted us. This bottle is fairly new. When it's done, you unscrew the regulator, take it down the street, and that and some chaos.
What types of food do we eat? Well, we eat a lot of rice and beans because it's available in mass quantities here and it's affordable. But we also can cook pasta. They do make pizza here. It's a little different, but it's good. We enjoy that usually every weekend. And
I feel like, in full honesty, the pizza here is very good. But it's so different from American pizza. It's hard to compare the two. They call it pizza. It kind of looks like pizza, with pizza, they'll put corn on their pizza. They'll put Cheese Whiz on their pizza. They put these little fried, crunchy, like baby French fry thingies on their pizza. There is nothing off limits for their pizza here. Mayonnaise and ketchup. I think I said
mustard,
that. I'm still appalled.
You know how we put mayonnaise, ketchup, mustard on our hamburgers? They do that with their pizza.
Yeah, and don't even get started on hot dogs. Hot dogs here,
a little different.
It's a lot different.
They put like mashed potatoes and stuff on it.
Yeah, everything.
It's
everything goes on top of that hot dog.
What do we eat? I guess the better question would be, what do we not eat here? We can't get maple syrup for our pancakes. The peanut butter. The peanut butter here, it's expensive, and it's just natural peanut butter. There's no sugar or anything
Peanut
like
butter
that.
here, you gotta drive like an hour to find it, and then it'd be like in America, $50 for a jar of peanut butter. It's insane. That's why no one here eats peanut butter, because you gotta be independently wealthy to be able to afford the peanut butter. Same thing for Nutella. You can get it, but it is expensive
because it's imported.
And there's a lot of food like that they'll have it. It's very expensive because it's imported. Anything, if it's not imported, it's really cheap. If it is imported, it's extremely expensive. And so it's kind of weird. You go to the grocery store and there'll be one thing. It's like, oh, 5 halves, which is like $1. That's really cheap. That's amazing. Get 20 of them. And then the thing next to it is like, oh, that's 75 halves. So it's like, oh my goodness, because it's imported.
The cheese here is also very limited in the variety. There's no cream cheese. I think that's been interesting to get used to. Some of the seasonings we use in the United States, they don't really use here.
Still looking for
things
sage.
Like sage to kind of like make that sausage.
It's an important part of biscuits and gravy.
Sausagey taste.
Somebody said it, please.
They don't really have like garlic powder here, but they have plenty of garlic. So, we're learning, but we're definitely not starving.
Joy makes a mean garlic bread. It's nice.
I use actual garlic.
Yeah, maybe that's it.
And they have lots of butter, but they do not have shortening. So there's some things they don't have.
And it's
here.
butter. It's not margarine. It's not, you know,
They have margarine,
the other stuff. It's straight actual butter.
but it's good. And then you have lots of coffee. Lots of coffee.
Oh yeah. Some areas in Brazil eat goat. Do you see that in your area?
We have not seen a lot of goat here. I'm sure they're here.
There are goats here, but
Yeah.
I don't know that I've seen anybody selling meat to eat.
Yeah, we haven't found it. The meat here, you'll find chicken, although if you're gonna buy a whole chicken, they're a lot smaller, a lot bonier.
The way they cut it, like they don't quarter it the way it's quartered in America. Here,
Yeah.
someone just takes a butcher's knife and chops it like a carrot.
It's just a little different.
It's
Mm-hmm. You can find ground beef, although some butchers take out that cartilage and some do not. So we have had times where we're chewing something really, really
we're
chewy.
still learning which butcher to go to.
Yeah. I don't think honestly they do eat meat, but they probably don't eat meat with every meal. Again, they rely
Maybe there'll be
most.
something like there'll be like maybe some bacon in it, maybe. Or sausage, salsichas,
And that's
or
usually in a pot of beans.
carne molida, or or maybe chicken. It'll be like a little bit added to something else. They don't.
Yeah.
You won't see like big hunk of meat on something unless you go to churrascaria, in which case it's a carnivore's daydream.
Yeah, but that's like
it's-
really fine dining.
It depends on which one you go to. Some are better than others. It's like any restaurant. There's good ones. There's some bad ones. There's some middle ground, affordable ones. But that's a big thing here. Is this churrascaria, which is basically like a barbecue, but it's not like our barbecue. It's grilled meat, but no barbecue sauce.
Yeah, but
You won't find barbecue sauce here. That I don't think we've seen any.
we have seen it, but I've heard it's different. We haven't tried it yet.
Where did we see it?
At the
Oh, the Atacadão.
but we haven't tried it yet. So yeah, but I will say usually when they make their plates, the meat is not the biggest portion. It's
No.
yeah, so it's more
exciting.
expensive. It is more expensive. If you look at the reais to dollar amount usually for meat, when you convert the reais to dollar, it's about the same price as what we would pay
In
for,
the United States.
United States. All right, question number 2. What is something that surprised you about Brazil? I think that means like when we moved here, what is something that surprised
Something's
us?
very different.
Yeah.
For me, one of the things, since I've been here, I have actually been to 2 funerals already.
Unfortunately.
Unfortunately, I didn't know the people who passed away, but I did know people. I knew their family. And it is a very, very different experience. Hypothetically, if they find them passed away in the morning, say they find them at 7 a.m. in the morning, they passed away. In the United States, 3 days, and their funeral is at least 3 days away. Here, they will be buried before sundown. The visitation will be at lunch, and the funeral will be right after that. And when I say visitation and funeral, I mean like they'll go to their house, and like the whole town will just wander around, drunk people, just random folks wandering around talking, and whoever the minister is or the priest that's doing the funeral, whatever it may be, shows up to do the service, nobody stops talking for him to do the service. They just keep going like he's not even there. And then eventually, it kind of feels like a mob. And then they will move to the cemetery, and it's the same thing. Like you'll have the minister there speaking, nobody stops talking so that you can hear him, and they're all just kind of wandering around the cemetery like, oh, there's so and so, and look at this, and but it all happens within 24 hours from the time they find them until the time they are in the ground is less than a day. If they pass away late that night, the funeral's gonna be tomorrow, a little after lunch. And they dig the hole themselves because the cemeteries, the way they do the cemeteries, it's so packed together, you can't get a backhoe or anything like that in there. They have them here, but they can't use them in the cemetery because the graves are all so close together. So 2 guys with a shovel will go out there and dig a hole in a time, the amount of time that they can dig that 6-foot hole is amazing. Like when I tell you that it's like 30 minutes, they dig it in 30 minutes and they fill it in 30 minutes or less. It's crazy. So, Joy, what surprised you?
I think the big surprise when we moved here was how it kind of seemed backwards with their plumbing situation. Their bathrooms are just so simple, and it kind of looks like they just put it together really fast.
I'm going to show you some of our shower stuff and some of our plumbing.
Like the Pavado we live in, apparently everyone here is used to not having warm water with their showers.
Nobody in our town takes hot showers.
I think it's because there's just not enough water pressure to kind of to help the water heater, which is an electric water heater, like inside the shower head, to actually turn on. It's just something they do without here. At the same time, we have fiber internet in our little Pavado. So that just kind of surprised me how like bathrooms are, there's leaky pipes, leaky hoses, no hot water. In order to flush the toilet, what is the thing called you just use to flush the toilet?
It's like a little PVC valve, like you would get at Lowe's.
You use a lot of upper body strength in order to flush the toilet.
Sadly, even an Asher cannot flush
They
the toilet
can't do
because
it.
they don't have the hand strength to turn the thing.
You still cannot flush.
We go
toilet
and
paper.
find that treasure and flush it for
Yeah,
them.
all toilet paper has to go into a trash can because the pipes and the sewage, they just can't handle toilet paper. So that still seems a little backwards to me, but yet we have fiber internet and you can get cell service here as well. So it's just interesting. All right, question number 3. What do you feel has been your biggest challenge in getting established in your home and ministry?
Language. Getting to know the language. We spend a lot of time every day doing language learning just so we can communicate, and it's coming along. I mean, the other day I took our truck to the mechanic and I got the oil changed on it with no translator present. We go to the grocery store by ourselves, and we're it's coming along very fast, but it is very difficult because every so often someone will come up and start talking to us. I'm like, I ain't got a clue what they said.
Yeah, it's difficult to answer their questions.
Yeah.
We can lead Bible studies at this point because we're able to prepare.
We can read.
We can read what we prepare.
Do it in advance, translate it, read it.
And we can prepare our questions for them, but it's hard to answer their questions.
It's hard to have real in-depth conversations still. To just be able to chat like we're chatting now. Which maybe this is a good thing. You're very forced to think about what you're going to say before you say it. In order to, do I know how to say it that way? Do they say it that way here?
Do they understand my accents?
They don't say things here like example. They would say she's afraid of snakes. They would say she has fear of snakes. And you gotta, sometimes when I'm trying to talk to people, it feels like, an old computer that's lagging. I'll pause to load.
Yeah, so language learning still.
Language is a challenge.
But it is coming along. It is coming along. Praise God. Thank you for your prayers. Question number 4.
Smile line. Question number 4. What were you not prepared for, Joy?
I was not prepared for the amount of bugs we have to fight every night. We have found some tools to help it get better. Things like that go in between the door and the floor. We found some mosquito nets, a lot more mosquito repellent, but there's just a lot of different bugs and a lot of
doors and the windows don't shut as tightly as they would in the U.S.
There's not much seal.
And so you've got to go behind it with something else to seal it, and we're finding where those things are.
And another thing was it's very costly and difficult to get actual air conditioning. So we use a lot of fans. It's been an adjustment, but it's been an easier adjustment than I thought. But it was a surprise that it was going to be much harder to get. I thought that we would be able to get it in our home, but I'm like, oh, fans it is.
And there, as the longer we're here, there are some options, but they're very expensive options. Not just to buy them expensive, but to maintenance to keep them. They definitely show up on. You can definitely tell the difference on your power bill, things like that.
And Matthew, what were you not prepared for?
What was I not prepared for? The number of cult groups that they have here, it's insane.
Can you explain what cult?
Okay, so like for example, here in our town, there's a group. There's signs coming into town for a church. And what they do is they drink this tea that makes them hallucinate and see God.
Well, they think that they're seeing God.
They think they see God.
They think their
Obviously,
visions are from God.
they're not. But in America, we shroom tea. We know what that is. But that's just one. And then there's always the candomblé. We a few weeks ago we went to the river to take the kids swimming and kind of try to beat the heat for. And while we were there, we went to by the nearby town, and we're walking through the street, and Eva was asking me about some toys, and I was like, no, those aren't just regular toys, those are candomblé. Those little ribbons that they're trying to give you, that's not just a friendly, here's a ribbon, it's a cult, well, we would call it a cult group, it's like voodoo is what it is.
It's very witchcraft oriented.
So, question number 5. Joy, do you have your the teacher skills honed in the language yet?
All I can say is I'm trying. I remember what I told my students, that practice makes progress. So I practice it as much as I can by writing it down, using the language learning apps that we have, practicing with my tutor, practicing with the people here every day, and just trying my best to remember to be humble and laugh with them when I make mistakes. Okay, question number 6. Are adults harder to share Christ with than youth and children?
Yes. Absolutely. The youth, first off, it's easier to talk to the youth because they're all down at the soccer court. I don't know if you can hear it right now. I can hear them through the window down at the soccer court hollering and playing soccer. And they're there, and if you go down there, especially if you go down there and you have a soccer ball, they're your best friend and they want to talk to you and so forth. The adults, they have work, they have thing, and when they get off work, they go drink and try.
What do the men do?
Especially the men, but you'll even see a lot of the women down there at the bar too. It kind of seems like they each have their own separate bars. Like there's one bar, it's mostly women there, and then there's another bar, this is mostly men. But either way, once they get off work, trying to catch them somewhere besides the bar and being able to talk to them before the bar has gotten to them can be a challenge. So thank you all for watching, and if you have any other questions, feel free to leave them in the comments. Several people asked about daily life stuff. We're trying to post more videos on through Instagram and Facebook, so you can check those out as well if you're interested. And like I said, if there's something else you'd want to know more about, let us know. Maybe we'll do a video. If nothing else, we'll at least answer it.
And please continue to look at our prayers and praises on the newsletter we share out, and
it comes out right around the 1st.
Yeah,
not necessarily on the 1st every month, but 1st, 2nd, somewhere in there. Watch your email, check your spam filters.
Yeah, 1st, but we give every month.
And if you would like to support what we do here, there's a link on the screen that you can do that as well.
Yeah.
Thank you all so much for all your support through prayer and other things.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Muito obrigada.
Ciao.